Hello, and welcome to Ice is Slippery, an unserious podcast about hockey brought to you by 1.5 hockey fans. My name is Kate, and I'm the hockey fan.
And my name is Fred. I am half a hockey fan.
Good afternoon, Fred. How are you today?
Oh, man, I'm tired again because of my waking up early and doing that training stuff. And I only got back yesterday from Coachella, so...
Yes, the Coachella. Yes. We don't go places or go to concerts or things like that because that would necessitate leaving the house, and we're old.
Yeah, no. I wish I was a Coachella type person. Like, that would be cool, right?
I think even if I were young, I wouldn't be a Coachella kind of person.
No, even when we were
noisy,
young.
Yeah. Probably hot.
Oh, it's definitely hot.
Dirty.
Definitely dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, festivals are not for me. But YouTube channels playing festivals, all about it.
Perfect.
Yep.
The future is here.
Yeah.
And it's not always terrible. Just 99% of the time.
Yeah.
Well, shall we get into hockey?
I think so.
Awesome. Well, we've got some news to get into.
Okay.
I'm going to start with some non-NHL news. I know you hate that, but I'll keep it quick.
Like tariffs again?
No. Just different hockey news.
Oh, okay.
Hockey news that's not the NHL.
Oh, gotcha.
So the NCAA Frozen Four championship game was last night, and Western Michigan beat Boston University to take the title. It was their first time ever winning the championship, which is pretty awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. I thought that was nice.
I know you threw that on.
Briefly, yeah, during the intermission, I think between second and third period of the Stars game yesterday.
Yeah.
My dad was watching, so we were texting about it back and forth. He's a Western Michigan person, so
okay,
pretty much any Michigan team he's going to be down for. So
yeah. I did not see any of it other than noticing it was on.
Yep.
And I have no interest in it.
And that is fine.
But Western Michigan won?
Yes, they did. 6-2.
They beat
Boston University.
Former school of...
Jake Ottinger.
Oh, really?
Yes. And Macklin Celebrini.
That's who I was thinking of.
Right.
I knew it was one of those boys.
Yes, it was one of the boys.
Yep.
So, yeah, no, Boston University hasn't won it in quite a while, but they are definitely, a big time.
They obviously have a good
NCAA
team.
school.
Yep.
Yes, for sure.
Yep.
So this is huge for Western Michigan to beat them.
I don't think I've ever heard of Western Michigan.
They're definitely on the smaller side.
Yeah.
There is a Flyers prospect on the Western Michigan team.
Okay.
Alex Bump. Not to be confused with Oliver Bonk.
No.
There's Bonk and there's Bump, and they're two different players.
Bonk and Bump?
I can't wait.
Wait, they're both Flyers prospects?
They're both Flyers prospects.
Bonk and Bump. The Bonk and Bump line?
One's defense and one's a forward.
Oh,
so
but that's
they won't be on the same line.
That's okay. Put them on the same line anyway.
Bonk is a defense player in the OHL, I believe, and then Bump is a forward.
And it's just like B-O-N-K?
Yeah.
Like
Bonk.
I like that.
I know. It's great. So that'll be really exciting.
Well, I'm excited for him to join the roster. And
I mean, names like Bonk and Bump are so perfect for the Flyers. Am I right?
Yeah, really.
It's a very physical team.
Like that should have been Delorier's last name, one of those.
Oh, my God. It would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Speaking of bonks and bumps, Gabe Landeskog's back.
Oh, yeah. He's over his bump.
His
Bonk?
bump?
I don't know. Yeah.
So, no, he had something that was a little worse than a bump or a bonk.
Oh.
So, yeah, Gabe Landeskog, his last professional game that he had played was in the NHL on June 26th, 2022. It was Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final when the Avs beat the Tampa Bay Lightning for the Cup. That was the last time he had played because he had a terrible knee injury and people thought he was never going to play again. And then this week, the Avs were like, oh, hey, by the way, Gabe Landeskog's back. We're going to send him to play with Colorado Eagles to do a conditioning stint because he's going to be back, motherfuckers. And everyone else was like, oh, no.
Yeah.
And by everyone else, I mean me, personally.
Well, he was obviously before my time.
Yes, that is true.
But I've seen some of the Avalanche content with him.
Yes, and he's delightful.
He's a delightful dude.
He is. So he was originally injured in 2020. He took a skate to the knee courtesy of Cale Makar. Terrible accident.
Oh, okay. Not just being a jerk.
No.
Okay.
It's just super, super terrible accident. It was actually in a game against Dallas, I believe.
Oh, wow.
So it's terrible. He had a couple of surgeries. He ended up having to have cartilage replacement. That's a surgery or a procedure that nobody has ever come back into the NHL after getting that. So everyone was pretty much like, he's done. He's LTI retired.
That's I didn't even know that's a procedure.
No, it's apparently a thing.
Like shark cartilage or something? Do you think he has a shark knee?
I don't know. I do want to learn more about it because I remember when I had my knee surgery several years ago, they were talking about they're going to have to like poke holes in my bone to regrow the tissue, but then they didn't have to. It wasn't as bad as they thought. So I don't know what it is, but it seemed pretty bad.
Sounds horrific.
Sounds horrific. So yeah, that's not so good. But yeah, people didn't think he was ever going to come back. 6 months ago, there was a photo of him posted online. It might have been by official Avalanche social media, or it might have just been some random account posting it. And some rando commented, "Time to retire, Landy," on the photo. And Landeskog himself personally replied, "Is it though?" Because he's kind of a bitch, and I love that about him.
It's a pretty boss move right there.
Oh, right? And yeah, people got very excited. They're like, is he back? Is he coming back? Is he going to be back? And yeah, he's back.
Is he old?
He's
older?
He's like 30-ish, I want to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely not necessarily retirement age or anything like that. He still has some years of hockey left in him.
Yeah.
It would have been too early for him to be out of the game. So yeah, they sent him to the Colorado Eagles for a conditioning stint, and they play about a half hour from us. So we totally could have gone to see him, except for tickets were apparently about $1,200 for an AHL game. That's a little rich for my blood.
Yeah, that's not in the...
That's not in the budget.
That's not in our podcast budget.
No, No, maybe in a couple of years.
Yeah.
But no.
The advertising dollars are not going to pay for that ticket.
No, not at all. Especially since we don't have ads.
No. This costs us money to do this.
Yes, yeah, it costs us money, and that's okay. We like doing it. So yeah, he played Friday night, and then he also played Saturday, and he had a goal on Saturday.
Yeah, you sent me that one.
I did. It was really nice. It was a good looking goal.
If I'm coming back from an injury and like I've got this like mythology around me, like that's a good goal to come back with.
Yeah, it's not like some little stupid one.
Yeah.
Or like an accidental one.
Yeah,
it's like a real authoritative
goal. It's like, look at me, I score goals.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, that went in the net and they're crediting it to me.
Yeah, no, it was really good.
That's cool.
I have to say, as a human being, I'm really happy for him. I know he had to put so much work into recovering, and it was a lot of physical work for him to do this. And I know, has been sort of hoping to come back at least a year ago and has had setbacks. And he just has been so hardworking to come back. And it was something that people didn't think he'd be able to do. I don't know how much he'll be able to play, he'll be putting in, 2 minutes a night, if this is, if he'll play on beyond the season. Maybe he'll go on and have like 5 more years. I don't know. Regardless, I think it's amazing that he put in so much work so that was not his last game and he gets to go out more on his own terms.
Yeah.
Whenever that may be, whether it's this season or in 5 years or whatever it is.
Right.
As a Stars fan, I fucking hate it.
So Stars fan is not your human reaction.
No. Stars fan is very inhuman.
Gotcha.
Mode.
Okay.
So yeah, when the news first broke that he was going to be coming back and playing, for the Eagles, I posted online and I said, "Oh no, this is very good for both their vibes and their narrative. We're fucked." And I stand by that assessment. Like, I was kind of joking, but I kind of wasn't. And it's true.
Yeah.
I think the hockey narrative is a powerful force.
Yeah. And it seems like you were saying, even though he hasn't been playing, he's still the captain. Like, they didn't just transfer the C to somebody. Oh,
yeah. No. I mean, who were they going to give it to? Like Nate McKinnon? Even Nate McKinnon's like, "Oh, no, thank you. I'm way too intense. I don't want to listen to that guy. And I'm that guy."
Right.
So, yeah, no, he's still the captain. He's still been there. They all love him. They brought Eric Johnson back, too.
Right.
Who was part of that cup run. Like, their vibes are immaculate.
Yeah.
It's too good, and it's really scary.
Yeah, and they got rid of that boat anchor Rantanen and picked up that Natchez guy who's fire.
And they got rid of the goalie that was not good. And
that's right. They lost Georgia.
They replaced with a great goalie tandem, including the fantastic Scott Wedgwood.
That's right.
The vibes are amazing. And then the narrative of the injured captain coming back from what should have been a career-ending injury 3 years later. How do you top that?
Yeah.
Like, from a narrative standpoint? I don't think you can.
It's pretty good.
It's really great.
You got
like the NHL script writers are like, this is fucking gold, man.
Right.
So yeah, I'm not excited about it. And I'm not excited to face them in the first round because, spoiler alert, we will be facing them in the first round. It's official.
Well, I guess it's time to buy my Avalanche hat.
I guess it is. Maybe you can wear it to a playoff game if we decide to go, because we can.
Yeah. No, we'll definitely go to a game.
If we can afford tickets, if the AHL tickets are $1,200, I don't know. Even the nosebleed one might be too much.
Oh yeah, I mean we won't be sitting close.
Oh no, for sure.
No.
We'll definitely be in the way back.
we'll be in those seats that they show at the Dallas games that are. I don't even know how people they must have to climb a ladder to get up to them.
I might have to bring my inhaler.
Yeah.
Because I have really bad asthma, and that's going to be even higher than usual.
Exactly. You're going to be an extra 1,000 feet up.
It's like the Mile High City plus some. It's going to be an issue. So anyway, I am happy for him, though. I think that's great.
I do too.
Yeah. There was some other injury news that came out. It wasn't really so much injury news as a chronic condition. So there is a Winnipeg Jets draft pick, Chaz Lucius, who announced his retirement from hockey this week at the age of 21.
Mm-hmm.
He was diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is something that's very personal to me because I have it. So that's why it's personal to me.
that makes it very personal.
It's very close to home.
Yes.
It's in my house right now. And by in my house, I mean in my body.
Yeah.
So it's a connective tissue disorder. It's basically my collagen is janky and it doesn't work right. And so I dislocate my joints really easily. I sprain things really easily. My teeth break, just all kinds of fun and weird stuff.
Yeah. And it really affected your hockey career too.
It destroyed my hockey career. It never really got off the ground, mostly on account of that I never tried it.
Right.
Because I grew up in Florida.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know, there is that. It did, mess with my tennis career.
That's true.
I did tear my rotator cuff playing tennis when I was 16. So luckily I hated tennis. So it was fine. I was like, yay, I don't have to play tennis anymore.
Lucked out on that one.
But then that was sort of like the start of the downhill slope.
Right.
But anyway, obviously that was not the case with Chaz Lucius. He really enjoyed hockey. He worked really hard.
Yeah, of course he did.
To play it professionally. Right. And he was drafted by the Jets. But he had a really bad stretch of, he just thought it was bad luck and injuries and kept having sort of bad injuries and issues. And then eventually got diagnosed with EDS. And after consulting with medical professionals, realized he wasn't going to be able to play at the professional level because, I have dislocated my shoulder putting on a sweater, changing the car radio station.
Right.
I tore my meniscus when I was in physical therapy for an ankle injury. You can injure yourself in all kinds of stupid ways.
Right.
Hockey is super, super dangerous. Like in the best of situations.
Exactly.
When you're basically just like a bag of loose joints, it's not cool.
Yeah. And there's nothing you can do to, there's no ace bandage you can put on to fix that.
There really isn't. I'm literally taped together like half of the time.
Yeah.
So it's stupid.
People should see how many braces we own.
Oh my God. Yeah. My sister once was doing a layover in Denver and I was going to have lunch with her and she's like, hey, do you have an ankle brace I could use? And I'm like, yeah, I have like 3. You could just have one. You don't have to send it back. So literally a whole shelf in our closet devoted to braces. Yep. It's weird. It's a weird thing. But I feel really bad for this young man. I don't know who he is other than just this demon that's come out.
Yeah.
But I'm really proud of him for saying what was going on with him, making the statement, and he wants to be sort of an advocate for people who have the disorder. I was diagnosed with it probably 12 years ago now. When I was diagnosed, it was still considered really rare. I think it was like 1 in 100,000 people. Now it's more like 1 in 10,000 people. Mm-hmm. It's just not as rare as people thought. So, yeah.
No, that's good to get some awareness out because it might be something where people think they're cursed or like unlucky or clumsy or something when maybe there's something else, some kind of underlying hidden condition.
Absolutely. And I still see medical professionals saying that it's a made up thing. So,
yeah,
which sucks. But, hopefully maybe if it's a otherwise able-bodied young man saying it, then maybe they'll have more belief in it as a condition. Yeah. IDK.
The medical industry moves slow.
It sure does.
We only just stopped doing the bloodletting like decades ago. So
yeah, it's the thing.
Yep.
So, well, anyway, that's been my health history.
Oh, we gotta get everyone to sign a HIPAA that's listening to this, right?
No, I think it's okay.
Okay.
It's fine. Anyway, thanks for listening. Let's talk more about hockey though, because that's really what this podcast is about. So last week when we recorded, Ovechkin had just broken Gretzky's goal scoring record.
That was last week.
God, it
feels like yesterday.
Or a month ago.
It feels like both of those at the same time. It does.
Well, I had a couple of fun follow-ups from that. So during the week, a reporter asked Matthew Nyes of the Maple Leafs if it was hard for him to wrap his head around someone breaking Gretzky's goal record. And he replied, "It's pretty crazy. Obviously, I can't even count that high," which is amazing. I love a self-aware man.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
I also can't count that high. So solidarity, man. The best thing, though, was sort of the camaraderie between Ovechkin and Ilya Sorokin, who was the goalie who Ovechkin scored on for the record-breaking goal.
Yep.
Everyone is sort of like, who's going to be the goalie? Who's going to have to live with this forever? You know, who's going to have to deal with the shame of being
the
goalie and the infamy. I think if anyone was going to deal with this, it seems like Ilya Sorokin was the best equipped because he's very well adjusted about the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
He and Ovechkin are both from Russia. Sorokin kind of grew up admiring him. Ovechkin entered the NHL when Sorokin was 10 years old, I think.
Wow.
So he kind of grew up and was like, hey, that's my countryman.
Yep.
They both played in the NHL All-Star Game in 2023. And Ovi's older son was participating in the game in the skills competition and stuff. And Sorokin kind of helped babysit him on the ice. And Ovechkin said later that Sorokin was the best babysitter of the weekend.
Wow.
So, you know, cute little stuff.
Yeah.
So when Ovi was giving his speech, you know, he was thanking, you know, his team and everything. And then he said, "Thank you, Ilya Sorokin, to let me score .895. I love you, brother."
Nice.
And Sorokin was interviewed after the game, and a reporter asked what did you think about Ovi saying, you know, talking about you in a speech? And he said, "Oh, I didn't really hear what he said. I just heard my name, so I smiled, but I didn't know what he said." And so she explained it to him.
It's like me in most social situations.
Pretty much. I'm like super relatable, honestly. So she kind of explained it to him, and his reply was, "It's okay, anytime."
Not a problem.
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, of course." And he was also asked about if he felt any pressure going into the game. And he felt a little bit, but it was just a small part of what Ovi has felt probably his whole life.
Oh, wow.
Which was just a really chill thing to do, I think.
Yeah.
Also, unsurprisingly, pretty much immediately after he scored the goal, Ovi went over and was like, "Hey, can I have your stick for my museum?" And Ilya was like, "Yes, you can have my stick for your museum."
Gotta get the stick.
So he gave him the stick. And then he took a picture after the game with Ovi and Gretzky and the stick in question. So I'm sure that'll go next to the stick in the museum. And he also told Ovi he can have the blocker, but after the season's over because he's still using it. So
there we go.
Yeah, so I don't know. I thought all that was cute. There's all kinds of different Ovi trivia going around, but I don't know. Shout out to Ilya Sorokin for being super chill about all of this.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, better him than like Jordan Binnington or somebody.
Oof.
Can you imagine? Jordan Binnington would have tried to fight him.
Yeah, that would have been tough.
But awesome.
But awesome. Yeah.
But very different. Very different. The vibes were good for this.
Yeah, no, the vibes were good.
So I'm okay with that. Speaking of good vibes, the Edmonton Oilers have made the playoffs, which means that Jeff Skinner has made the playoffs for the first time in his career. He has played 1,078 games.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a lot of games. Yeah, he was drafted by the Carolina Hurricanes in 2010, or that's when he first played for them. I'm not sure if he was drafted then. But yeah, he played for the Canes 2010 to 2018. The Canes were in a 9-year playoff drought. And it ended the year after they traded him to Buffalo.
Oh.
And then he was in Buffalo for 6 years. And obviously,
And then he was in Buffalo.
And then he was in Buffalo. So enough said about that. So, yeah, he signed with Edmonton, I think in the offseason this year, I want to say. And he has made it to the playoffs. So congratulations, Jeff Skinner.
Yeah, so he's not cursed.
If he was, it's been overwritten by the Corey Perry curse of making it to the playoffs and not winning.
Oh, that curse trumps this curse.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Curses are very complex in the NHL.
Right. Yeah, they
It's tricky. Wednesday in the NHL was a very high-scoring night. The Sharks played the Wild in Minnesota. Joel Eriksson Ek had 4 goals, and it was his first game back since he was injured in February. And then on the other side of the ice, Macklin Celebrini scored his first NHL hat trick.
Yeah, That was cool.
That was very cool.
Yeah. No, I'm happy for that kid when he does well.
I know. I like him.
Yep.
He's nice.
We got to watch a fascinating interview where he ate Chipotle.
It was thrilling.
It was thrilling.
Tyson Forster of the Flyers also had a hattie, and Matthew Nice had a hat trick. Presumably he can count to 3. So
let's hope.
Yeah, I'm assuming. Also on Wednesday night, the Ducks had a comeback win against the Flames. Philadelphia public enemy number 1, Cutter Gauthier, scored the tying goal and the OT game winner. But the real MVP of the game was 4-year-old Braden York. We saw him on, I sent you a video of him.
You sent me the video. It was stupid cute.
It was so cute. So it's just one of those things that they do in arenas where they'll show the opposing fans and everyone will go, boo. And then they'll show like a cute kid in the team's sweater and everyone will go, yay. And usually the kid kind of looks like they don't know what's going on.
Right.
This kid, Braden, was like on it. He knew. He was like, they're looking at me and I'm fucking cute as fuck. Like,
yeah. No, he seemed to get more hyped as they kept, he's like, oh, they're back to me? Well, I'm going to turn it on even more.
Yeah. And you can tell he was booing when the camera was off of him because like he would have his thumbs down and then they'd cut to him and he'd put his thumbs back up and go, yay.
Yeah.
And he was just more excited every time the camera cut to him. And it really did change the vibes in the arena. There were people on Reddit who were there and they were like, it was so hype. Like it cannot explain how hype it was.
Yeah. No, he was certainly... Yeah, because I mean, I've seen things like that where the kids maybe kind of get it, but it's not that big a deal. He obviously got it. And, you know, if I was up on the Jumbotron, I'd be hiding my face on either side of if they were booing for me or cheering for me. I'd be like, hi, okay.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah.
I do not wish to be perceived. Please do not perceive me.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'm also not an adorable 4-year-old or whatever.
True that.
I am an adorable 40-something-year-old.
Right. And that's fine. And I know you're not just like obfuscating your age. You do not remember how old you are.
I didn't want to say the wrong age and have you pick on me.
I know. That's fine. I also don't really remember how old I am. So there. Once you get to a certain age, you just stop being able to count that high like Matthew Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I stopped being able to count that probably 4 or 5 years ago, but...
Totally fair.
Yep.
Well, this kid was so cute. They ended up inviting him to come hang out with the team after the game and visit in the locker room. He was wearing a Zegras shirt. So Zegras came over and gave him a puck. And he was very polite and said, thank you.
Nice.
And Zegras gave him a fist bump. And Cutter Gauthier gave him a high five and pretended his hand hurt.
Yep.
It was so painfully adorable. Like his mom was like, I don't know if you realize how cool this is, kid. Like
she did say that, didn't she?
Yeah, it was just so great. Yep. Like he definitely seemed to know it was cool, but he did seem remarkably chill about it.
Yeah.
Like, I would have definitely been way less chill about it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I'm a human adult. But it was super cute, and I really liked it. And I liked Cutter Gauthier a little bit, so.
I guess so.
For a minute.
Yeah.
Now we can hate him again. That's fine. Somebody I don't hate is Andrei Kuzmenko. He is doing great with the LA Kings.
That's good to know.
We only had him briefly with the Flyers, but I just love him now. So I just like to check in on him every now and again. He's played 18 games with the Kings, and he has 5 goals and 14 points.
Nice.
And he's playing on a line with Anze Kopitar and Adrian Kempe.
Oh, God, I know both of those names.
Yeah, they're good players.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, that line has been playing either the second or the first line, depending on the night. So
yeah,
he's a top 6 forward on the Kings, and he's doing great.
And the Kings are good, too.
Yeah, they are.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was sad to see him leave from the Flyers. I thought we got left with kind of the meh guy. I do like the meh guy, it turns out.
We'll talk about him a little more later.
He took a little while to grow on me, but I'm glad Kuzmenko's doing well over there.
He's lovely. He's such a little bundle of joy.
Yeah.
And now I'm really rooting for the Kings to beat the Oilers in the first round because that is also set in stone. That's happening again.
Right.
For like the 4th time in a row.
Oh boy, those Edmontons can't get it together.
I mean, they've at least have been beating the Kings. Now we need the Kings to come through.
Yeah.
Because I guess I'm rooting for Kuzmenko.
We're rooting for Kuzmenko.
Yeah. Although Leon Draisaitl's still hot. So I guess we got that going on. I was listening to the Never Offsides podcast, which is the one that Tyler Toffoli's wife is one of the co-hosts on.
Okay.
And she was talking about recently she was interviewed and the reporter was like, oh, yeah, I saw that you have 2 teenagers. And she was very confused for a minute because she and Tyler Toffoli do not have kids. And then
let alone teenagers.
Right. And then, yeah, because they're like in their early 30s, I think.
Right.
So, and then she was like, oh, she was like, yeah, on Twitter, people refer to Tyler as the father of two teenagers, being Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith. So probably, I don't know, the reporter saw some like AI overview.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Of like Tyler being the father of two teenagers.
God, that's embarrassing as a reporter.
It. So she had to be like, I think you're confusing an internet joke. And that is referring to Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith, who are not my biological children, in fact.
What a nerd.
Oh boy, yeah. As a writer and person who interviews people for a living, I think I would crawl under a rock and never come back out again. Personally.
No, that's super embarrassing.
I do so much research for stuff that is literally just like writing about cocktails. So like I would be mortified.
Yeah.
Personally speaking. And then my last little bit of funny news comes from yesterday's game where the Columbus Blue Jackets played the Washington Capitals. There's a player, Dmitry Voronkov, and he was part of a scrum. So the Capitals were losing, which they do sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, this is kind of the post-OV hangover.
Right.
Literally and figuratively. I'm sure they've been partying
exactly
nonstop. So they're losing pretty badly. Tom Wilson was yapping and threatening to murder people as he does.
Yeah.
People were getting real chippy. There were some hard hits laid on the new boy, Ryan Leonard, which people don't like it when you lay hits on the rookie, even if he's a big giant rookie.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there was a big scrum and a lot of people got penalties, including Dmitry Voronkov of the Blue Jackets. He got a 10-minute misconduct during the scrum, and the refs told him about it. They did not tell the coaches. Usually they have to inform, the coach's bench.
Yeah.
But I guess they figured, we told the player, it's fine. One problem with this. Voronkov does not speak English.
Yeah.
He's Russian. He speaks Russian. His number is 10, so maybe he heard them say 10, and he was like, yeah, okay, that's me, 10. And so
he's doing the smile and nod thing.
Yeah, it's very Fred coded.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Exactly. So he skated off the ice and went and had a little drinky poo. And then they went on the power play and he went back out on the power play. And then like a good 30 seconds goes by. And then the refs are like, wait a minute. I don't think that guy's supposed to be out there. So they paused the game and conferred. And they came out and they're like, this guy's not supposed to be out here. So illegal player on the ice. And then Dean Evison, the coach, is like, why is he not supposed to be out there? And so they had to explain to him that, he had a 10-minute misconduct and there's less than 10 minutes left in the game, so he needed to not be there. And Dean Evison is like, okay, but nobody told me. Why didn't you tell me?
Right.
And they said, well, we told him. And he said, he fucking doesn't speak English. He fucking speaks Russian.
That's the literal, lip reading quote. Right?
Yes, exactly. So, and then meanwhile, the Blue Jackets players on the bench, sort of between Evison and the ref, I guess probably they can see the ref's face. I can't imagine what the ref's face looks like. But you can imagine Evison being totally murder face behind you. And then this poor ref having to be because the ref was like, it wasn't my job, I guess. And Dean Evison's like, it's not my fucking job.
Right.
And the Blue Jackets players are just dying laughing. Adam Fantilli in particular is just losing his shit. It's great.
That's pretty funny.
And I would feel kind of bad for Voronkov, but he pretty quickly figured out what was going on too. And he also started laughing. So
yeah.
And at this point, I think the Blue Jackets were up 6-0. So it really wasn't a huge deal.
Right. Yeah. If it was a tied game or super close or something.
Yeah.
I don't know that it would have mattered at this point in the season anyway. But God, that's funny.
It didn't end up making a difference. And the Blue Jackets won 7-0. But it was absolute chaos.
And they had to enforce that penalty, right?
They did have to enforce it.
He was an illegal player on the ice.
He was an illegal player on the ice.
It was their fault that he was on the ice, but,
Yeah. I don't know.
Refs, man.
It's just more...
They should get a report card at the end of the year.
They really should.
Yeah.
I guess a performance review. Maybe they get performance reviews.
Yeah.
They should get public performance reviews.
Yeah, exactly.
I want accountability.
Yeah, we need to see who the good refs are and who the bad ones are. And then there aren't any good ones. They're just all bad.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you right now, we will be talking about reffing some more. In fact, we can get into that pretty quickly here because I think it's time we talk about the Dallas Stars.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about the Dallas Stars.
Is that why we're talking about them first and not the Flyers first?
Yeah. It's like a compliment sandwich, we talked about some fun stuff and now we're going to talk about the Dallas Stars and then we'll finish it up by talking about the Flyers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the bad parts in the middle.
All right. Well.
Whew. All right. Here we go.
Here we go.
So on Sunday, the Stars played the Wild in Minnesota. From a hockey perspective, actually, let's first start from an injury perspective. The Stars keep getting hit in the face.
I mean, yes.
I guess if that's a narrative, that's our narrative.
That is the narrative of the Stars this year.
The Stars be getting hit in the face, a narrative.
Yeah.
So less than a minute into the game, Matt Boldy boarded Oscar Beck and sent him face first into the boards. And then a little later, a shot from Esa Lindell was deflected into Beck's face, which sent him down the tunnel for a while.
Yeah. And it can be friendly fire. It can be enemy fire. It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter. There's just pucks and faces.
Puck magnet face.
Yeah.
Face puck magnet.
Face puck magnets. It's a thing. It's a thing, okay?
Yeah.
So, and Beck wears braces, and I didn't find this out until recently, but the reason he wears braces, it's not to like straighten his teeth. I mean, it is kind of, but it's because his teeth are misaligned because he broke his jaw last year when he was hit in the face with a puck. So they had to put a plate in his jaw for the healing, and then his teeth were all misaligned and he couldn't chew food. So he had to have the braces to like realign his teeth.
Yeah.
And basically, it was kind of a danger to still have the braces on because if he gets hit in the face again, it could bend the braces and then he'd have to have them off.
Yeah.
But he still needs them. So he's just kind of going with it. But
why he should have got Invisaligns.
I don't think it's the same thing.
Okay.
I'm sure the fancy NHL dentists considered the possibilities.
Wait, so this was last year that happened to him?
Yeah, like March of last year when he was with the Texas Stars.
And he didn't play with Dallas last year?
No.
So he brought the curse.
Oh my God, he did.
He's the problem.
He is.
Send him back to the AHL.
No, I like him.
Yeah.
He's a nice boy.
He's kind of grown on me.
Yeah.
I do think he needs to get better, but I think he's okay.
He's fine. He's, I think, the least of our problems.
Yeah.
He also is not the only person to get hit in the face that period. Rope Hintz got caught in the face. I can't remember if it was a puck or if it was like a high stick. It might have been a puck.
I don't know.
He got hit in the face and he had to leave the game for a while. That's what I remember. So,
which immediately sets in the Dallas Stars fan panic.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, another one down.
No, we all immediately start drafting up plans for diving helmets to be worn. It's funny because basically the only Dallas Star who has not gotten hit in the face with the puck this year is Jamie Benn, who does not have a visor.
Yeah.
Everybody else.
Right.
Drawn the pucks, but he's like, no, come on, hit me in the face with the puck. I want some time off. And the pucks will not go near him.
Yeah.
They're too afraid of him.
I've noticed that he looks a little goofy without that visor. The way that helmet sits on his head looks rather bulbous without that visor. Anyway.
Has it occurred to you that he just looks a little goofy?
I mean, he is a little goofy, yeah.
So beyond the, facial injuries, there were also some questionable penalties in that game. Well, that was in the second period. In the first period, I will say we did actually briefly outshoot the Wild.
Okay.
So there's that.
There's some foreshadowing.
Yeah. And then Robo scored a goal. So we got out of the first period up 1-0.
Yeah.
So, that's a period that was okay-ish.
Yeah.
A little boring, but that's fine.
Getting out of the first with 1-0 is good.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Second period, this is where we got some questionable penalties from the reffing. So the Stars got called for a too many men penalty, and math is not my strong suit, but by all accounts, we did not, in fact, have too many men on the ice.
Right.
So it was a national broadcast, and the national broadcasters were like, in case you're wondering why you haven't seen a replay of the too many men call, it's because we've looked and we can't find it. So, yeah.
So they just made it up.
They just didn't know how to count, or they thought a Minnesota player was a Dallas player. I don't know.
They do have green on them, right?
Yeah, it's different green, but...
and it's mostly not green.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Anyway, so we got a too many men penalty. Luckily, we killed it off, so that was fine.
Yeah.
Later on, Leon Bischel took a penalty, and I'm not going to say that he's never guilty. It's not like Mason Marchment, where I'm not Leon Bischel's attorney.
No.
Because, he's a habitual offender. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. He's learning what he can and can't do. Maybe not.
He's still in the juvenile court system, though.
Exactly.
So it's fine. He's got somebody who specializes in juvenile justice.
Right.
I'm Mason Marchment's a full-time job for me. Listen, okay?
Yeah.
So Bischel does commit legit penalties. He's still young and learning. He's very large. But I do think that largeness contributes to him maybe getting penalties that are literally just playing hockey while large.
Playing hockey while large.
Yeah.
That would be funny. They announced the penalty as that.
I think it might actually be the case in some of these. Because in this one, Ryan Hartman, who's the one who like pile drives people into the ice.
Oh, is he that guy?
Yeah, he's that guy.
Oh, I love that guy.
Ugh.
Yeah.
He brushed up against Bischel like, I don't know, 50 feet from the puck and then like fell down dramatically. And then somehow Bischel was the one who went in the box for that.
I'll blame the big guy. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, big guy playing hockey.
Yeah.
By which I mean skating.
Yep.
So large guy playing hockey. That's that penalty. But again, we killed that penalty. So that was fine.
See, no big deal.
Yeah, no biggie. And then with 41 seconds left in the second period, Robo got sent to the box for interference against Marcus Johansson because he set a pick. And those ones are always kind of like gray areas where it's like, was it just a pick? Was it interference? IDK.
Right.
That one's kind of discretion of the refs. However, Marcus Johansson was literally hooking Cody Ceci at the time. Literally.
Yeah, but interference trumps hooking.
Why can't you call them both? Make it a 4-on-4. Jeez Louise. So that sucked. But we did at least keep pace on shots during the second period.
Yeah.
And neither team scored in the second period. So we were still up 1-0.
So uneventful.
So yeah, so just stupid penalties that weren't like a thing that existed for real. But
yeah, we didn't need to talk about this period at all.
No, just to make fun of the refs, basically. In the third period, though, the Wild started out-shooting us. About 3 minutes in, they tied up the game. And yeah, 5 minutes in, they had 10 shots to our 1 shot. And that's when they scored another goal and pulled into the lead. And they, just continued absolutely pelting us with pucks.
Yeah.
Harley did tie up the game, but at the end of regulation, the Wild had 40 shots to our 25.
Yeah, I mean, 40 shots is a lot for a goaltender to handle, I think.
Yeah. And I will say both of our goaltenders have been playing pretty great overall.
Yeah.
Even the one I don't like.
Yeah.
Jake's great. And the other one's also there.
He's also present.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 40 shots, some are going to go through.
They've both been getting absolutely deluged with pucks lately, and they've been really holding their own. But when there's that many pucks, some of them are going to go through.
Absolutely.
It just happens.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we ended up going to OT, tied to 2-2. And then in OT, Robo got called for tripping. And this time it was not a phantom call. He did, in fact, trip somebody.
Notorious goon, Jason.
Noted goon, Jason Robertson. It was an accident, but it happened. He knew he did it as soon as he did it. He was looked up at the ceiling and was like, oh, why me? Yep. It's like, because you did it.
Yep.
So he went to the box and the Wild scored. So, it kind of we can complain about bad penalties as much as we want to. But the truth is, we killed all those bad penalties and they scored and won on a good penalty. So, the reffing might be bad, but it ultimately doesn't always matter, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, that seems to be coach's standpoint. They're like, yeah, reffing, but we still need to win the game.
Yeah, exactly. I think you can acknowledge that the reffing has been wildly inconsistent this year, but also realize that it's not just on that. Your team also needs to play better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by your team, I mean my team, the Dallas Stars.
Yeah. Yeah. Occasionally it'll tilt a game and people will be furious, but most of the time, you still got to show up and do your job and in the face of straight up shenanigans.
On that note, I guess we need to talk about the Canucks Stars game on Tuesday.
My goodness, the hits keep coming.
And they don't stop coming. It was this one was hard. This one was really hard to watch.
Yeah.
It wasn't hard to watch the whole time.
No.
There were actually some good moments in here. We played good hockey for a lot of the game, I happen to think. Not everybody agrees with me, but I enjoyed watching sections of this game. Large sections.
I enjoyed watching large sections of this game. It's such a couched response. Is that?
It's just coping, I guess.
Yeah.
But no, I did. There were times when we looked really good and cohesive and we had effort and we were trying. So I enjoyed that part at least. But yeah, we were making history and not in a good way.
Wrong side of history.
Once again, the Dallas Stars story. So let's start with the first period. Mikko Rantanen scored a power play goal, which yay power play goals for one thing, because those are always is it going to be good or is it going to be terrible? Who knows? And it was really a beautiful goal. And it was his first goal in the American Airlines Center. So his first home goal as a Star.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's good for him.
It was really nice, too. It's kind of one of those down on one knee, like really powerful shot.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of deals.
He does those things. I've seen him try that a couple times.
Yeah.
And maybe score a couple times.
He has scored a couple times with it. No, it's really good. We don't really have people who do consistently do that. So it's really nice. And then we had another power play goal in the first period, and Marchment scored with about a second left on the power play. So really, making us wait for it, being dramatic.
Yep.
Because mush, that's just how he is.
That's how he roll.
He nearly tripped over a Canucks player, and he managed to turn it into sort of a clumsy pirouette and stay on his feet as he, finished shooting the puck. And yeah, it's just classic mush, just needlessly dramatic and clumsy, but still stayed upright.
Yeah.
So just kind of a hot mess.
Man, we should get him on some figure skates sometime.
Oh, bless. The thing is, I feel like his skating has improved this year.
Right.
Which is wild. Once again, we found out that the second period is for penalties. So we came into the second up 2-0. Marcus Pettersson in the second period went to the box for high sticking, and Matt Duchene got the Stars their third power play goal of the night.
Nice.
So we're up 3-0 in the second, which is great. Later, though, Elias Pettersson, Elias Pettersson, not Elias Pettersson.
Sure. That means something to me.
The new Elias Pettersson, not the old Elias.
Okay.
Pettersson.
Oh, new Pettersson.
New Elias Pettersson.
Yeah. Okay. And actually, now I know.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he had a pretty hard hit on Mikko Rantanen that sent him into the boards. And Mikko didn't like that and gave him kind of a cross check to the chest. And then they kind of got shovey with each other. And Mikko was pretty bitchy, and I kind of enjoy that.
Mikko wasn't liking it.
No, he wasn't. And I enjoy that we have people who will give it back.
Yeah. Him and Bish.
Although
a couple others are starting to.
I feel like the others are starting to get that energy now.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we just have Robo who just fades into the bushes, Homer Simpson style. Or yeah.
He's been looking better. You need to stop being so negative about Robinson.
I wish you could see the death look I'm trying to give him right now, but he's still alive, so it's not working.
No, he's been skating better. He's been hustling more. He's been more physical.
He has been.
He's been getting
doing
penalties
all
left and right.
All those things, for sure. So, no, I think, have not been historically a super physical team, and we've been doing a lot better at that. And I like that Mikko brings that. He's kind of a bitch, and I like that. Let him be a bitch if he wants to be. We need that. God, we need some personality.
Yeah.
If that's the personality, so be it. I kind of like that personality.
We'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it. So it's gonna be Brat Summer again, but this time it's Mikko Rantanen's version of Brat Summer.
Oh my God, I'm getting tired of Brat Summer.
I know.
And I was on board for it.
You were like the original Brat Summer.
Yeah.
You were in on the ground floor.
Ground floor Brat Summer, but summer's coming up again, and we can't keep having Brat Summer.
Yeah, we need something else.
We do.
Give us something else. Well, maybe it's Bitch Summer. Courtesy of Mikko Rantanen.
Yes.
So anyway, they both got sent to the box, and they continued bitching at each other in the box, which was great.
Love that always.
Then with less than 2 minutes to go in the second period, Matt Dumba got called for cross-checking. And we did manage to kill that penalty for a while, through the end of the period.
Mm-hmm.
But then the third period started, and we still had 30 seconds of that penalty left. And that's when Vancouver scored their first goal of the game. So we went from being up 3-0 to up 3-1.
Yep.
So, not great, but not the worst, right?
No, 3-1 in the third, that's reasonable.
Totally reasonable.
Yeah.
That one, definitely you kind of look askance at the goalie. DeSmith came way out to challenge that one.
Mm-hmm.
And a Canucks player went behind the net and banked it off his skate into the goal.
Yeah.
So that one was a little sketchy. But, again.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. These things happen. A few minutes after that, Mason Marchment high stick Teddy Blucher, and that drew blood. So it was a double minor.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucked.
Hard to fight that in court when there's blood.
I believe I posted online, I am Mason Marchment's attorney and I have the night off tonight. Something along those lines. I was like, listen, I'm just, the public defender can handle this one. I can't do this every night. I don't think it was intentional or anything, but it was clearly a high stick. And there was clearly blood happening.
There was clearly blood.
So, that's just a plead guilty and hope for leniency. But he got the full sentence and it was deserved, I guess.
Yep.
So unfortunately, the Vancouver Canucks did manage to score on that. And so it went to 3-2.
That's still fine.
Still fine, really. And it was fine for a while. So here's where I want to sort of break down the timeline.
We're getting into a timeline of this game.
We are. Well, it's history, so we have to be accurate in our recounting. So with 2:46 left in the third period, the score was 3-2 in favor of the Stars. And at that point, Maverick Bourque scored a really sexy little goal to widen lead to 4-2. So we're feeling a little better, right?
4-2 is great.
That's great.
In the third?
Yeah. And
I'll
then,
take it.
Yeah. And then with 2 minutes and 24 seconds left, Vancouver pulled their goalie Demko and sent out an extra attacker. And then literally 3 seconds later, Granlund scored an empty net goal off of a pass from Esa Lindell. It was actually really funny because Josh was like, Esa Lindell in his office, which is like 190 feet from the goal.
Exactly. All the way down there.
Because he was just assuming Esa was going to put it in the goal because that's where he usually shoots from. But Esa chipped it up to Granlund, who did score the empty net goal, which, again, I appreciate that Granlund and Mikko can score empty net goals. That's an area we struggle in.
Yeah. And I was in the other room finishing some homework for my early morning training classes.
Yes.
And you texted me.
I said, we've got like 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. Granlund just scored an empty net goal, 5-2 Stars.
Yep. So I came out to just
watch the end of the game.
Watch the end of the game, just see the victory, that kind of thing.
Exactly. And you cursed us.
Yes, it was me.
It was you. You're the problem. So Granlund had scored the empty net goal, and the Canucks went ahead and put Demko back in. And then with 59.1 seconds left, the Canucks scored again to take it to 5-3.
Yeah.
And so then the Canucks were like, hey, guess what? I think we're going to pull our goalie again.
Might as well.
Because might as well. And then with 28.4 seconds left, the Canucks scored again.
Yeah.
And now it was 5-4.
Yeah. At this point, I was glued to the television. I was like, wow, what?
You were like, wait, what's happening? And I was like, I don't know, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
And then the Canucks were like, you know what? Let's just leave Demko out of the net. He doesn't need to be there.
Yeah, whatever.
And with 5.5 seconds left, Vancouver scored once again and tied the game at 5-5 and sent it to overtime.
Yeah.
One of the Canucks players actually jumped for joy. And for a second, I thought it was Quinn Hughes. But I watched from a different angle, and I think it was actually Connor Garland. But it almost would have been worth it if it was Quinn Hughes.
That would have been hilarious.
Like, if he would have jumped for joy, I would have totally been fine with all of this.
Exactly. This would have made it okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, because he was like over in the same area. But no, it was not, in fact, him. So,
no.
God, that would have been amazing, though.
Right?
Yeah. But alas, we can't have nice things. So Nope. Just somebody else celebrating at our expense once again.
Once again.
And then we went into overtime, and I think there was a penalty.
Yeah, I think Robertson cross-checked a dude in the neck or something.
Probably.
No, I don't know what it was, but it was not good. Not a great time to have a penalty in overtime.
Right. And we might have killed it.
Yeah, it was killed.
But it didn't matter because Vancouver scored anyway, and we lost.
Yeah, they certainly scored the goal that won the game.
Yeah. And this was the first time in NHL history that a team has come back from being 3 goals down in the final minute to win a game. Making NHL history.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
Yeah. It's great. It's congratulations.
It certainly changed my approach to the end of games when people are down by 3. I'm like, well, they could still win.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of have always been like that, but this certainly reinforced that.
Yeah. It didn't seem probable or possible.
It wasn't like Vancouver was playing so well that we thought that they were going to mount that kind of a comeback.
No, they kind of play like sad, depressed boys a bit.
They do. And they literally got eliminated from the playoffs the next night. So this was not even the start of their big comeback tour.
Right.
This was not.
They weren't getting the band back together.
No, this was not like their triumphant moment in the narrative. This was just staving off death for one more day.
Right.
So I guess glad we could help for a day. Not glad. So that happened. That wasn't super fun to watch.
Nope.
Moving on to Thursday, we played the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah.
So it's Stars number 2 in our division, the Jets number 1 in our division.
Yeah.
It's been pretty accepted that the Stars and the and the Avalanche are going to face off in round 1. At this point, we're still thinking there could be a chance that the Stars could overtake Winnipeg, in which case we wouldn't have to face the Avs in round 1, which would be great because, again, their vibes and their narrative are fucking sick, and ours are not cool.
Not cool.
Not cool.
Nope.
So, yeah, I think at this point we're only 4 points behind Winnipeg. So if we beat them, we could pull in within 2 points, and then there's still enough games left where we could it's still totally doable. It's not likely, but it's doable.
Right.
Well, yeah, that didn't happen.
No, those Jets they looked really good.
They did look really good.
I feel like a lot of the games that I saw this week, which weren't much, nobody looked great. Like, I don't know, it's just like the end of the season.
Everyone's fucking tired.
Right. Yeah.
It's like you.
But seriously, story of my life. But those Jets looked pretty okay.
They were on it. They were connected. They were feeling it. They were in the rhythm. I will say the first part of the game, at least like the first half of the first period, most of the first period, really, the Stars looked good too. It was a good game. Mm-hmm. It looked like playoff hockey. It was fast. It was physical. Like, we were holding our own.
Totally.
It was good. We also had some fun. I really think it's like the Leon Bichel effect, I want to say.
Okay.
You know, I've complained for a couple of years now. I'm like, the Stars need to be more physical. We don't respond when people are physical with us. Like, they push us around. It's a thing. So I don't love that. But I really do think Leon Bichel is bringing that physicality, and the rest of the team is starting to respond a little bit.
He is certainly bringing that physicality. I don't think that's a question.
He is absolutely bringing it.
He's maybe bringing it a little too much at times, but he's certainly bringing it.
We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he's doing great.
He is.
So he had some big hits. There was like a big stretch of play, and he did some hits during it. I think Jamie did a hit too. And then Jake gloved down a puck at the same time that Bish did another hit, and kind of a scrum broke out right away. So Bichel was kind of mashing one of the Jets players down into the ice. Not quite sitting on him, but pretty close, kind of doing a Jamie Benn impression of using a guy's furniture. That was Morgan Barron, and Barron did not like that. So once he was let up, Barron and Luke Schenn both went after Bichel. So Marchment came over and put Barron in a headlock. Mm-hmm. And then meanwhile, Logan Stanley, who's gigantic, was going after Dumba and trying to smush him into the glass like a little bug. And then Robe Hintz was up in there, like, grabbing him by the collar and face washing him.
Wow.
And I usually kind of feel like Robe doesn't want to break a nail, but he's been getting a little more physical lately too, I feel like.
It's the Bichel effect.
Exactly. I do think it's the Bichel effect. So they're in there. They're mixing it up. They're holding their own. There was also a point in that period where Jamie Benn and Luke Schenn got in like a shoving match over by the net, but they were laughing the whole time, which was amazing. Yeah. They're like longtime friends going back. Remember when Bish shoved a guy into the bench in like his first game?
This year? Oh, yeah.
That was Luke Schen's brother, Braden.
Oh, yeah.
So the three of
and Jamie had like a nickname for him.
Yeah, Jeffy, which is their dad's
Don't
name.
worry, I got you, Jeffy.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that, right?
Yeah, because when Jamie and Luke were little, they called each other by their dad's names. That was like their nicknames. And then that extended to Braden, too.
Interesting. And when people get pushed into the bench, I think we saw it this week or the week before, like there was one dude and they were like, we're not helping him. And the ref was like, you need to help him get up. And they're like,
They're like, I don't want to touch him. He has cooties.
Exactly.
But meanwhile, like the Stars are like, haha, this is cute. We got you. We'll help you out, little guy.
Yep.
So yeah, that was fun. But yeah, no, so it was kind of, fun and interesting. Like there was shoving and interest and like physicality, and that was cool. But we didn't actually like do any of that when it came to like putting the puck in the net.
Right.
So that wasn't great.
That wasn't cool.
Yeah. And yeah, ultimately we ended up losing 4-0. And it was the first time we've been shut out all season. So 79th game of the season for shutout.
Yeah, and added to Hellebuck's like continued shutout success.
Yeah, I think it was his 5th shutout of the season, which is like a record for him or the franchise or something.
Something.
Once again, wrong side of history, the Dallas Stars.
Yeah.
So Saturday, we played the Utahs.
Yep.
It was our last home game of the season. So this would have been a great time to like pull it together and really put one on for the home crowd.
It's like fan appreciation night.
It was fan appreciation night.
I don't know if they showed their appreciation very well.
I don't think they felt very appreciated. So I already didn't have high hopes going into this one after the last stretch of games.
You got to have high hopes. That was a song reference.
No, I know. I was going to keep going on it, but then there were too many lyrics. Anyway, I didn't have high hopes going in. And then when I found out that Essa and Harles were going to be out for maintenance, I was like, oh, okay, this is just not going to be good.
Yeah. 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 They need the maintenance, but also like, that's like not good.
Yeah, no, like I'm happy that they got the rest because they need it. Like, especially poor Harles, I think. Like, he's just exhausted, like emotionally and physically. And then Essa would like never complain about anything, but his smile has been like low wattage lately. Like he needs to like recharge in the sun like a lizard or something.
He's only half smiling.
So it's sad.
No, that is good for them since they're going to need good defense.
And those are our two consistently best defensemen.
Yeah.
So, I love Bischel. He still is growing. He's
still cooking.
Yeah. He's like...
Hopefully he's not still growing.
I think we did this last week too. But yeah, he's still like growing as a player.
Right.
And maybe as a person, I don't know. People still grow at 20.
Yeah.
It'd be great if he was like 7 feet tall.
His noses still grow like your whole life or something.
Could be.
Maybe
he's Pinocchio. Anyway, Bischel's really good, but he is not consistent yet.
Yeah, they've been pointing out like some of his errors, and it just like the position is hard to learn in the NHL and takes time to develop. So
yeah, he does. When he makes a mistake, he generally learns from it and fixes it. But yeah, he's been asked to play way above his pay grade, basically.
Yeah.
Same with Dumba and CC, really.
Yeah.
Like everybody has been.
Yeah.
So
I don't know about that CC. I wasn't hyped when he came over because I didn't know who he was and I didn't really like his name. And I haven't been like super impressed.
He's apparently fine as part of a bottom pairing when he's in like limited minutes, kind of like how Ryan Suter was, better like his last season when we weren't like playing him like 20 minutes a night and as a top pairing.
Right.
But we don't have that luxury right now. Like Cody Cece's playing on the top where he was last night because our two top guys were out resting, and that's scary.
Yeah.
And then also, to make matters worse, there was a flu-like illness going around the dressing room. So Mason Marchment was out too with an illness.
Yep.
So that's not ideal either.
No. So lines were more than juggled. Lines were
scrambled. The D pairings were crazy.
Yeah.
We had Petro came up from the AHL.
Yep.
We had Brendan Smith back in the lineup, who's usually a healthy scratch.
Yep. I totally know who he is, too.
Yesterday, I was like, oh, Brendan Smith. And you were like, I thought he went to Chicago. And I was like, that was Craig Smith. And that was last year. And I was like, you've seen Brendan Smith, like talked about him. I've showed you his picture because I'm like, he has a nice smile. And you're like, nope, doesn't ring a bell.
Yep. No, when they showed him, I was like, oh, that guy.
Yeah. To be fair, he is not super memorable in the play. And also because he's just not on the ice very often. He's usually the healthy scratch. And then when he gets a chance to come in, everyone's like, oh, no, that was bad. Go back to the bench, please. You have to go back to the press box. You don't even get to wear a uniform.
Right.
So he seems like a very, very nice gentleman, though. So anyway, we were kind of going in on low battery mode.
Yeah. You're at the start of this game, you were like, this is not good. This can't be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, frankly, I'm just happy we didn't lose like 9-0. So I'll take it where I can get it. So we did go on the power play 3 minutes into the game, and this was another phantom call, but this time it was in our favor. Utah went for tripping on Granlund, who was playing his 900th game. But I think Granny maybe just fell down a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't see the trip. And then Razor was trying to sell me on that being a trip. And I was like, Razor, buddy, that I don't know, man. Maybe we're looking at different things, but that didn't look, maybe, I don't know. Anyway.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Wyatt did score on the ensuing power play. And I would honestly be furious if that happened and like the other team benefited. But like, I can't really care that much right now because like we've been screwed on so many plays and so many bad calls this year that I'm just like, okay, yeah, it was bad, but like, I'll take it at this point.
Right.
So,
take what you can get.
Like, I can get being mad about it, but like, I'm too busy being outraged about my own bad calls. I can't be outraged about bad calls that benefit me too. So there you go. Utah did even it up on their first power play. So we came out of the first period tied 1-1. The second period started with Utah on the power play after a late penalty in the first from Dallas. But Colin Blackwell got the puck after Dallas, sent the puck to the other end.
Mm-hmm.
And he did some like real fancy wheeling around and kept the puck. And then he passed it to the aforementioned Brendan Smith, who scored his first goal in Victory Green.
Wild.
No, we're the Stars.
Oh, right. Sorry. That was the other game.
Yeah. No, Brendan Smith scored his first goal as a Star. It was a really nice one. He was so happy. The other players on the ice were so happy. Smiles all around. It was really cute. It was a short-handed goal.
Yeah.
Which is great. Unfortunately, that meant that Utah was still on the power play, and they promptly turned around and scored 2. So then we were tied 2-2 again.
Yeah, classic Dallas.
Classic Dallas. Jamie had some good looks. He had one go off the post, but Utah was the next team to score. And then Utah went on the power play and scored again. So we were down 4-2.
So power play, not good for Dallas when there's no Dallas power play killers.
Yeah. When Essa Lindell's not there on the power play or the penalty kill definitely suffers.
Yeah.
Big
like
time.
0%.
I think pretty much, I do think Utah ended up with like 5 goals on the night. And I think all but 1 were power play goals.
Right.
So that really sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, the Stars did score 1 more goal. That one came from Jason Robertson off of a great pass from Matt Dumba.
Yeah. Hey, I know you like to trash talk Dumba, but that was a nice pass.
I just said it was a great pass. I will admit when he's okay. Listen, we did actually have maybe a glimmer of hope in the last minute of the third period when Jamie Benn briefly scored a goal.
Yeah.
But then it immediately got called back for goaltender interference.
I know.
And at that point, we were down 5-3 with 40 seconds left.
And they already used up their Jamie Benn 400 goal graphic.
I know. What are we going to do now?
I don't know.
The juice has been squeezed out of the lemon. You can't put the juice back in the lemon.
Can't replay that graphic.
I know.
Yeah.
Maybe next time he scores it, he'll actually smile. He did not do that this time.
I mean, it wasn't the coolest goal either. It wasn't. It kind of just dribbled in.
And he never celebrates anyway.
Yeah.
But I think he must have known maybe it was going to be goaltender interference or something because he looked extra dour.
Yeah.
So yeah, we lost that one as well. 5-3.
Yeah.
Utah.
Yeah. Yeah. Utah looked kind of okay, but not like that great. I was impressed with some of their skilled players. They have more of those than I thought they had, probably. I don't know.
Their goalie was having his 23rd start in a row.
Which is
insane.
Yeah, Razor and Josh couldn't stop talking about that. And that is pretty insane that, like, that dude's started 23 games in a row. They have a backup goalie, and his save percentage is higher than Ersson.
Yeah.
Which may or may not be true, but I'm pretty sure that's true.
It is a fact that you definitely are sticking with.
I'm sticking with that fact. I haven't looked it up. And nobody should quote me on it.
No.
But
you believe that it could possibly be a thing.
It could possibly be true.
Well, yeah. Anyway, that was the Stars week. We lost 4 in a row. And that was actually our 5th loss in a row. So that was the most consecutive losses we've ever had in the Pete DeBoer era.
Yeah.
And that's not great. It's not super good.
Are people calling for his departure?
Not so much. I think just because it's playoff time, you're not going to replace them right now.
No, I know.
But I do think if we fizzle out in the first round of the playoffs, certainly people might be talking about that in the off season.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, it's I don't know. I just don't know. It's not a good look going into the playoffs, but also I don't know how much these games don't matter really, but you should certainly look at these as like a precursor probably to the playoffs. And this is not a good precursor.
The vibes are low, and you don't want to be going into the playoffs with low vibes, especially now that we know we're going to be facing Colorado, whose vibes are at an all-time high.
Right.
So, what's our narrative? Our narrative is, oops, we fucked up. And Colorado's narrative is our beloved captain has come back from an injury after 3 years of hard work.
Yeah.
The narratives don't stack up.
Yeah. No, they certainly don't. And yeah, that narrative of like, oh no, we're number 2 in our division or conference or whatever, but like on paper, but you shouldn't watch the games that we won necessarily.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
Yeah.
So I don't know. If you believe in the hockey narrative, which I do, I'm scared.
I don't know. There are ups and downs. They've played well and played bad throughout the season.
I think if I knew for a fact we were like getting Miro back, I would feel better, but it doesn't look like we're maybe getting Miro back in time for the first round of the playoffs.
Well,
so we're still going to be stuck with not having a full defense, complement.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
No. And I mean, this is kind of what I was feeling when, the Rantanen trade happened and all the commentators and everybody was like, well, just pack up the season. The Stars are winning the cup. And I was baffled.
Yeah, that's not really how hockey works.
No.
I don't know why people persist in thinking that it is. Like, if that was the case, Nashville would have the cup already.
Right.
Like, they would have won it the first week. But
exactly.
That's not how it works.
No,
it's not just like, oh, I got the best players, I win.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I feel like Jim really, I mean, you had the same kind of feeling. Like, you're like, no, but we need defense too.
Yes, that was my big thing. Yeah. And I will say I was definitely sort of very hesitant about the Mikko trade at first. I do feel better about it now. I do think he's a good fit on Dallas. I do like him.
Yeah.
I think there's an adjustment period. I think he's going to be overall good for the team and organization. I'm still a little nervous about the paycheck. But overall, I think he's a good investment. I also really think we desperately needed defense, and we did not get any defense. And I think that's going to bite us this year. And I think our window has moved to next year. And that's where I'm at.
Yep. That might be true.
Yep. So, but I don't want to think about it. So let's talk about the Flyers real quick.
Oh my God, this podcast's still going on?
It's still going on.
Oh, geez.
Sorry.
I thought that was the end of it.
No, we got a little bit more. All right, we'll keep it quick.
No, this is good. We don't want to end on that note.
No, we definitely don't.
No.
So the Flyers had a couple of games this week. On Wednesday, they played the Rangers.
Did they?
They sure did.
The Rangers didn't play them.
No, they didn't. No, the Flyers showed up. The Rangers were also there. Kolosov was in goal, and in the first period, he had to face a penalty shot from Zibanejad, but luckily Zibanejad shot it wide, so that was fine.
Yep.
The Rangers did score a shorthanded goal that period, but we made it out down just 1-0 from the first period. The next goal wouldn't come until almost halfway through the second period, and that one was a super casual-looking wrister from Tyson Forrester, who continues to just be amazing.
Yeah.
Then Garnet Hathaway got a shorthanded goal of his own to give the Flyers their first lead of the game. And the Flyers' PK in general looked super great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were really holding their own. Artemi Panarin scored his 300th career goal and tied up the game 2-2. And that's how we left the second period.
Yeah, that was a sick goal.
It super was.
He just danced in there and did the thing where he puts it in the net.
He's so impressive when he's on. It's crazy.
Yep.
In the third period, someone turned on the goal faucet and they just started pouring out. So it started with Travis Sanheim, who cleaned up his own rebound. And then the Rangers evened it up with a sharp angle shot. And that one was from JT Miller, who apparently exists still. I forgot about him.
Yeah, he's the guy.
Yeah. They tied it up again when Pelletier cleaned up a rebound off a shot from Tippett. Pelletier being the other one in the Kuzmenko trade.
Yeah, he's grown on me. I like him. I like his vibe. I like what he's bringing.
He's a little cutie.
Yep.
He's got a lot of energy.
He does.
He's real happy.
Yeah.
He's very fast.
Very fast.
So I like him a lot. He's cutie. And so, that was tying it up from Pelletier. And then the Flyers retook the lead with a goal from Couturier. And then Tyson Forster widened the lead with an absolute snipe. The Rangers pulled their goalie, and then Chris Kreider managed to score, and apparently he still exists as well.
Yeah, he's a guy.
I also forgot about him. And then Forster had an empty net goal, which means he had his first career hat trick.
Yeah. No, he's on a heater.
He's so good.
Yeah.
He's lovely.
He's going to be getting that Subaru Forester sponsorship soon.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Probably be a local Philadelphia one, not probably national.
No, probably not. But that's fine.
People will be like, who's Tyson Forrester?
Be like, shh. And then we had another empty net goal. This one came from your favorite player, Owen Tippett.
Yeah. Empty net, right?
Empty net.
I mean, the man
tipped it right in from 2/3 across the ring.
As long as there's not a goalie in the way, that dude can make a shot.
You're incorrigible.
I can't, Robinson's out for me, so it's all Tippett now.
His name is Robertson.
I do. But yeah, I don't know. That Tippett bothers me.
I hear you. It's fine. We all have our irrational dislikes for people. I got Cutter Gauthier.
Yeah.
You got Owen Tippett.
I just need somebody, and it can't be Robertson anymore.
It's fine. So, Robertson's too good. So
he's too good, but Tippett...
turn the attention elsewhere.
Tippett not.
Exactly. Well, the Flyers ended up winning that one 8-5.
Yeah, they crushed them.
Absolutely crushed them.
Those Rangers were dejected and uninterested. I was trying to describe them during the game. I was like, what's going on out there? Like, it didn't even seem like they were playing.
They were like at half speed.
Yeah. They're just lazy and sloppy and just uninterested. And yeah, I think you used the phrase too cool for school. Like it felt like this very like, yeah, I live in New York City. I'm too cool for you.
They were like smoking on a street corner.
Yeah.
Instead of playing hockey.
Yeah, it was not a good look. And that knocked them out, right?
Yes. No, that did not. But they are out now officially.
Okay, yeah.
But that didn't knock them
It certainly
out.
didn't help them stay in.
It did not help them stay in. That is true.
No, real pathetic.
It was not great. So on Saturday, the Flyers played the other New York team, the Islanders.
And the other sleepy boys.
The other sleepy boys.
I didn't see any of this game.
Yeah, there wasn't much to see. You were out running errands and
I was
things.
out and about.
You guys were buying me a birthday present.
Yep.
So it was scoreless in the first, so you didn't miss much there. Tyson Forster had a zingy little goal in the second, but then the Islanders got 2 goals. 5 minutes into the third, Pelletier scored for the second game in a row, and it was like a beautiful backhand goal that went in 5-hole. And he's just been really great.
Yeah.
And he's like so happy when he scores, and it's just so cute.
Yep.
Then Tyson Forster scored again for his 24th goal of the season.
Oh, nice. So he broke 20 like
a couple games ago.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, no, he's up to 24 now.
Yeah.
So at that point, the Flyers were up 3-2. And then with about a minute left in the game, TK's cousin, Bo Horvat, tied it up off of a fortunate bounce off of Sanheim's stick. Mm-hmm. So just one of those super lucky ones. So that sent the game to OT, and they played for 5 minutes. Couldn't make anything happen. So then we went into the shootout. And on the 4th round of the shootout, Bobby Brink scored, and Samerson shut down the Islanders, and the Flyers won again.
Wow.
So we are now 5-1 in the Bradshaw era.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. I don't want to speak ill of Torts because, you know, he is my mentor, but...
Your mentors, if you will.
My mentor. Ooh, that's a good one. I'll have to remember that. I won't. But
you don't remember anything.
Yeah, no, it does seem like maybe, you know, he should have let these guys play a little bit more and get some more experience because they weren't going to win the Stanley Cup this year. No one thought that. Yeah. And, you know, it seems like that experience and being out there is helping them. And like, you got to loosen up a little bit and let the boys play. I don't know. That's very controversial for me to even say out loud, but it's obviously true.
I love Torts, but I think you can love somebody and still know that they have issues.
You sure can.
I mean, God knows that's probably how you've tolerated me for so long. So I know we're running a little bit long, but I did have a little bit of I guess not really a game since I didn't give you anything to do, but just like a little fun conversation.
Is it the thing you sent me on the email and I didn't do?
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, that one. Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. So basically this week I've been doing some research on summer activities for kids and teens because we've got a 13-year-old and summer break's coming up soon. And apparently she doesn't want to just hang out at home with her boring parents all the time. She wants to do stuff. So
no, we're work at home introverts.
I know. So we got to find fun stuff for her to do. Exactly.
Not going out there.
We're allergic to the sun. Yep. It's a whole thing. So yeah, so I was looking at different sort of summertime activities and it got me thinking, so many teams have now been officially eliminated from playoff contention.
Yep.
And I think some of them could really benefit from some summer enrichment activities.
Yeah, a little summer camp for them.
Exactly.
But like not hockey camp.
No, They need to get away from the sports, maybe.
Maybe golf camp?
No, not golf camp either.
Not grass hockey?
No, not grass hockey. So I just kind of put together some ideas for some camps or activities that some of the different NHL teams could go to now that they have been eliminated and their summer break is starting pretty soon.
All right. Sounds good.
So the Boston Bruins, I think that they need to go to music therapy camp. So music therapy can help develop social skills, build self-esteem, manage emotional regulation, improve cognitive and motor skills, and help people with communication challenges. And I think that these could all be deeply beneficial to the Boston Bruins, who seem very dysfunctional and disconnected from each other.
I think that's pretty good. I think Swayman will bring his acoustic guitar and sing some songs.
Exactly. I was like, this is perfect for Swayman.
Yep.
So, he'll really thrive in this environment.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, fun fact about me, I used to sell Celtic harps for a living, and therapy harp is a real big thing in the world. And I think Zadorov with a harp.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
That'd be really funny.
I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
It would look so tiny.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like send the Boston Bruins to a music therapy camp this summer.
Yeah.
Give them some time to process their feelings, but not in a talk therapy way, because they're not going to do so well with that.
Right.
Let them play it out.
Yeah. No, I think that's good. And get ready for torts, coaching them next year and bringing out the rope and making them skate around it.
Exactly. The Buffalo Sabres are next. So last year, my cousin's kid went to this marine biology camp on some island in the ocean somewhere.
Generally, we're island. Well, I guess there are islands and lakes.
Yeah, true. So she seemed to have a really great time. It was really educational and awesome. And there was lots of outdoor time. I imagine there were palm trees there. So I think the Buffalo Sabres should go there. And they should just get some time by the palm trees and learn about sea turtles and stuff.
There's probably no taxes there either.
Probably no taxes there.
Man, that's a deep reference, huh?
It sure is.
Wow.
So, but yeah, let those Buffalo Sabres get out of Buffalo and just go enjoy some time, play with sea turtles. And
yeah, Buffalo's pretty stark.
It's pretty dire.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think that'd be good for them.
I think it would work.
Yeah, I don't know if who is it? Sandine?
Yes.
I don't know if he needs that much sun, but
yeah, we're gonna have to give him a lot of sunscreen, huge sunscreen budget, big straw hat.
Right.
It's gonna be a big thing.
Yeah.
So huge umbrella.
Yeah, they'll get to play around with starfish and
all kinds of neat
snorkeling
stuff.
And stuff.
Yeah, just let them have a good time.
Yep.
But yeah, sea creatures, that's neat. That's fun.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, not just laying on the beach, but actually learning stuff.
Yeah.
Keep their brains engaged,
That's going to be too much learning for them.
But it's cute animal learning, so it's fine.
Exactly.
All right, the Nashville Predators. So over the summer, we thought that Nashville had gotten all the ingredients that they needed to make a great playoff run. But it turns out that you can't just throw a bunch of random ingredients in a bowl. You need to have a recipe. So we're sending them to cooking classes.
Yeah.
So that they can learn how to assemble the ingredients into something that makes sense and doesn't burn.
I like that.
Yeah.
Where they pair up, it's that romantic cooking night instruction.
Sure, that could work too. Yeah,
right?
just learn how to work together,
Right.
And also just be just because caviar is expensive, it doesn't mean it needs to go with chocolate. It can, you don't just mix it all together just because it's fancy.
Yeah, they could do that that old Whose Line Is It Anyway thing where they do the chef thing where someone put their arms behind or through their arms and they'd have to do the thing. The other person would kind of direct them. It'd be like that. Cooperative.
Yeah.
Cooperative improv cooking.
I think maybe that's the advanced level for them. I think at this point, maybe just put some flour in a bowl and see where it goes.
Yeah, exactly. Start with the basics.
Exactly. The New York Islanders, I'm sending them to theater camp because they're boring as fuck and they need to learn some stage presence.
I think that enough said.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yep.
That's all I got. The Vancouver Canucks, I'm sending to a wilderness survival camp.
They'll like that.
I think so. I think they really need to get away from the press and the media and their GM who keeps talking to the press and the media.
Right.
They just need to get away from the outside voices and influences and just be with each other and learn how to pull together.
Yeah.
And work together. And if not, then just kill each other.
Right.
One or the other.
Yeah. Yeah, Survivor style.
Yeah.
And they're in the woods. They're they don't have to go far to find a ropes course and do trust falls.
Exactly. Yeah. No, just give them some tents and some firewood and some canned goods and just set them loose in the woods and be okay, either you come back a team or you don't all come back.
Right.
And either way, it's probably an improvement over what's happening now.
Either way, it's fine.
Exactly. The Philadelphia Flyers, I'm sending them on a yoga meditation wellness retreat.
Okay.
They've had a really rough year.
Yeah.
Physically, they play that very physical style of hockey with the block shots and everything.
Yeah.
they're all bruised. They could use some like crystal healing or
little
Reiki. Yeah, exactly.
Yoga, meditation.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And, they've been through it like emotionally with the tort stuff too. So
for sure. Yeah, I can see most of them doing well with that. I can't picture like Delorier, like full lotus, like chilling out.
I don't necessarily think so, but I think he would maybe not be as averse to it as you might think.
I don't think he would fight it. I just think it'd be funny. I
think if he could like smoke a lot of weed, he'd be cool with it. So, I think it'd be cool.
Yeah.
So just like give them, like it doesn't have to be long, like just 3 or 4 days, but just give them some unwinding time before you send them back to Canada or wherever they go in the summer.
Like a Zen rock garden, they can go out there and rake it.
Yes, exactly. Let them just be calm.
Peaceful.
Like, undo some of the mental and physical damage that's been done to them this year.
I like it.
And then finally, we've got the San Jose Sharks. Obviously, they're going to just like this traditional old-fashioned sleepaway camp.
Yeah, they are.
We're going to put them in a cabin together.
They got cabins.
There's going to be bunk beds.
Absolutely.
They're all in the same cabin.
Absolutely.
Because Will Smith really wants them to be.
Yep.
They're going to gather around the campfire at night and tell scary stories, but that's okay because they're all in the same cabin together. So it's fine. The axe murderer definitely won't get them. They're going to play in the lake and throw each other around like they like to do.
Canoeing.
They're going to eat at the mess hall every day. They're going to have so much mac and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to do arts and crafts. They're going to make each other friendship bracelets.
Love it.
It's going to be amazing. They're going to have a great time.
Yeah.
They're actually going to go all summer. It's only supposed to be for 2 weeks, but they're not going to leave.
Yeah, I can see that.
They're just going to be like, no, we live here now. This is our home.
Yeah. No, they get a rink built there for when it's time to go train or something.
Exactly. Yeah. Just like for the first few weeks, be like, okay, now we're just chilling. We're having fun. Okay, now it's ice time.
Right.
But like we're still bros.
Yeah.
We're broing out in our bunk beds. So yeah, that's what I personally think.
Well, shoot, that was really good.
Happen.
Yeah. I'm glad I didn't get involved in this because I couldn't have come up with anything close to that.
In my defense, I did spend many hours looking into camps. So I was very steeped in the lore.
I never went to camp.
Me either. So
I did go to a summer program for smart people.
Oh, me too. I also did that.
Yeah.
We went to different ones, though.
We did.
Yeah. We were nerd children. Yep. And that's why we have Hockey Podcast.
That's where it all leads. The gifted program and summer camp for smart people, you end up with a Hockey Podcast.
And that's the end of regulation for this week's episode of Ice is Slippery. You can find us on Tumblr, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Instagram at Ice is Slippery Pod. You can also email us at iceisslipperypod@gmail.com, where we would love to get suggestions for games and hear your hockey hot takes. Until next week, stay out of the penalty box.